Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. What is everybody up to today? I cannot wait to get this stream started yet again. Another fancy Los Angeles. Who's got the airplane on? It was so nice and peaceful here. Thank you. Jeez. Nice and peaceful here. And then I go ahead and go live and there's an airplane blasting off there at the terminal. But what's up, everyone? Good to see you here. We're back in the INI LAX. And I just wanted to do this stream in the early morning. I got my coffee, trying to get into the mood here. I got some coffee brewed here, pretending that it's about 6 a.m. sim time right now, or 6:40. Yeah, it's actually right about 6 a.m. sim time, so the sun is just starting to peak up. LA is coming to life. We're in an old school retro Delta 320. While I was sitting there watching the countdown too, I was really starting to think, man, wouldn't it be awesome if we had this paint scheme on a L1011? Could you imagine if we had a Phoenix quality L1011 with this paint scheme? How sweet would that be? But nevertheless, we got a fantastic A320 from Phoenix Simulations today. We're going to take off from gate 33. We're headed up to the mountains of Tahoe, Reno, Tahoe. Should be a fun flight up over that way. Should be very, very scenic as well. So I hope you guys are ready to come along with me, experience the flight. We're also going to do some additional failures today. It's twofold. You know, I like to do some failures on stream. Well, number one, I think it's entertaining for y'all, and number two, it keeps me sharp. So, for instance, and I'm not just talking about engine failures and stuff, but let me just get LSG Sky Chefs to come over here. But for instance, like today, we're going to do manual engine start. We're going to do manual engine start. We're going to do cross bleed start. It's procedures like that that I don't really do on the line that often. I mean, I do them in the sim every 6 to 12 months, depending on what rotation is up. But, you know, when I get to do them on the stream here with you guys, it gets my head back in the book. We get to do some abnormal stuff. That way, if I do come across it on the line, I'm even more up to date and ready to go. And I think it's a double, you know, it's a win-win situation for everybody here. So fly by wire for the win. What's going on, man? How you doing? Milestone, but boy, does that widget look amazing. A Delta needs to bring back on the A321 Neos. Oh, indeed, man. What's going on? Good to see you fly by wire for the win. Hope everybody is well up there. Hope you guys are staying nice and cool with that lovely fall weather up on the northeast. Man, it's awesome. We've got a cold front down here in Dallas as well, finally cooling off. So I'm ready to get this show on the road. Jason Barzy coming in with a $5 super chat as well right off the bat. Good job. Thank you so much for the super sticker, my friend. Thank you for that. I appreciate your support on the channel. Aaron is also in the house. L1011 and Microsoft is the dream. It is the dream, dude. Either an L1011 or a 7.2. Hell, even a DC-10, which I know is in the works, but some tri-jet L1011 being probably one of my utmost ultimate ones. Well, that or a 7.2, you know. But look at the tower and the lights coming on here. I mean, this is so nice. And look, we got someone coming in here on final. This is freaking awesome. I love this scenery. The lighting is spot on here. The ramp lighting is really good. TriStar for the win, Max Rank. What's going on, man? We're going to have to change the name to Max Helicopter here pretty soon. But good to see you, dude. That's going to be a hell of a journey you get to embark on with that. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Here comes our LSG Sky Chefs. I guess they're getting ready. I guess we should start getting the aircraft set up as well. We're completely cold and dark. So let's get up here to the overhead. Let's get our batteries on. I can barely see where they are. And let's go ahead and power the airplane online. Immediately get the dome light on. A little bit of a lag out there. I have preloaded my screens for you guys, so you don't have to watch me twist up those knobs. While that gets started, we're going to come over here to the Phoenix, and I'm going to just go to ground services. Excuse me, I'm going to come to mass and balance. We're going to load aircraft, instant, dismiss, and it's waiting for my action to open, which they're already opening. That's good. And let's go ahead and start the boarding process in GSX, and then we can go ahead and get the airplane set up because it's going to take some time for them to do all that. So let's go ahead and request boarding. They're going to start that. Airplane's coming to life. This is the originator out of LAX. I love these. This kind of reminds me, although we're not going to Dallas, but my favorite trip, I talked about it back in the day. The last leg of the 4-day trip was an early morning originator. I think it was like a 6 a.m. departure, 6:45 departure in the morning, or LAX to DFW. It's just, there's something about leaving super early, get to fly into the sunrise. It's awesome. J-Dub, what's up, man? $20 super chat. Appreciate your support, man. J-Dub, I hope you got your bindings done. I wonder if you got them with that SPAD next situation. But thank you for your support, man. Massive $20 super chat to get us going here. Appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying your Throttletek hardware, and your sim room is looking epic, man, with the windows and everything. It is a nice little place to hang out and do some flight simming. Greetings from Dallas. Rob Ziegler, what's up, man? Thank you. Dallas in the house. Good to represent, man. All right, sim sounds muted. They are. Sorry, guys. Nothing like getting us started.
Finally built a computer and bought the Fenix. Was able to jump right in thanks to your content. Starbucks refresher on me.
Alpha Mike, thank you, man, for the $10 dono. Bank go check right back at you. I'm glad you got the Fenix up and running, and you get to experience this lovely airplane. Here comes our crew. I will pick up a refresher on you, Alpha Mike. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that. Bank angle check right back at you. Brad K, I'm doing fantastic, man. Welcome to the stream. We could take our time this morning. We got a short flight, one leg, LA to Reno. I say short flight, only about an hour and maybe an hour and 20 or so total flight time, but it's going to be scenic. That is for sure. Crew is coming down the jet bridge. I saw him there. Let's see if we can sneak into there. Couldn't quite see the crew there, but I saw someone walking down. There we go. Crew's coming on board. Open up the cabin there. Close 1 and 2 right. All right, they are closing. Good deal. All right, fuel is already on board. Let's go ahead and finish up this preparation here. Cockpit prep. We'll turn the dome light all the way on. We'll actually
your crew has boarded.
Turn this up all the way as well.
Passengers boarding starting.
So in real life, this is kind of a GSX thing that I'm starting to pet peeve me just a tad here, and I think they could tweak this. So when I request boarding through GSX, I wish it would do crew boarding first, just like it does, and then give me about 5 minutes before the passengers come down. Because in real life, when the crew gets on, there's going to be probably even more than that, probably about 10, 15 minutes, man, maybe not 15, about 10 minutes at least for all the flight attendants to come on. They got to get their bags stowed. They got to get everything settled themselves. And then they have to do all of their checks, all of their cabin checks. So just like we have pre-flight checks up here in the cockpit, they're checking stuff in the back, emergency equipment, oxygen bottles, life vests, all that stuff. They're doing their checks. It takes them about 10 minutes or so to get that done. So if they really wanted to simulate that, that would be kind of cool to have that break in the action there. But it is what it is. Yeah, exactly, Tony John. Separate pilot and crew boarding. That would be a simple way to do it as well. You know, just separate the two. That would be that'd be a good little way to do that. Because when you request boarding, it's like, okay, so now we're already boarding. It's like I'm already getting stressed out. It's like, really, why are we boarding? I just sat down. I like to have my cockpit completely pre-flighted before we start boarding typically. Although that's not always the case, but in a perfect scenario. Everything else looks good on the overhead. We're going to talk about we're going to MEL this airplane here, so we got that, and let's do this. Phantom has already done the APU. Cargo heat's going to go up to aft. That's close enough. Right there, beautiful. That's out and on. That looks good. All right, everything looks pretty good here. Let's come down to the, oh, my num lock's not on. There we go. Let's come down here and initialize the airplane. Super Cal, I love this livery too, man. It's nice. You made your reservation at the Peppermill. Looking forward to gambling and steak dinner tonight. So hopefully this flight is on time. Key 6, we're going to do our best, man. We're going to do our best. Hour and 3 minutes en route. We'll come back to the main init. We'll go ahead and pull our flight from there. Now let's go into the maintenance menu, and we're going to see what we can do here. So let's go McDo, config, manual failures. So nav is out right now. That's normal. APU. Let's just in-out the APU fuel valves. So really we can't. We're just going to simulate that the APU is out because we fly around with an ECAM with APU fuel valve. So we don't have an APU, so we got to do ground start. Or can we just? We could do the bleed and just use the electrics on the APU. Can we do that? Let's see. Bleed management computers. Pneumatic valves, pack valves, bleed leaks, wing leaks, pylon. Ooh, you don't want to see one of those. APU bleed leak, don't want that. I'm going to change this to conditional just in case I click on something. Pneumatic valve, APU. APU pneumatic valve. Is that what I'm trying to accomplish? I don't know. Engine 2 bleed. See, I want APU bleed. I guess I could do that. As a fellow 727 enthusiast, have you ever seen the old Delta birds with rotating nav lights? They were just like the anti-collisions. Yeah, the old school rotating ones. I like those, man. It's a totally different look. All right, we'll leave it. We'll just simulate that our APU is out, so we're good right there for now. We'll go ahead and get the box loaded up here while we sit around. We are Delta Airlines 357, but we will be operating without an APU, and we will do a manual engine start. So we're going to have to do a couple different procedures here. We'll do a cost index of 75. Final cruise altitude today is flight level 360. It's a little high, but we'll see what we can do. Tropo's already in there. Beautiful. All right, we're going to be departing 2-4. Departure, North Complex, 2-4 left. And we're going on the Lady J. Lady J4 departure. Oh, and you know what? And we're going to Castro intersection. And before I continue, how dare me not have done this prior to loading up here. So airframe, we need to do old school. DDRMI, analog, and we don't need a metric standby altimeter, but that's what we need. I missed the spool up sound of the gyros. Oh well. Let's go ahead and uncage this. Crimson Ghost, the widget's always going to be your favorite. The widget is an iconic livery, that is for sure. Let's go ahead and turn all this up. You know what? Let's go back to old school steering. So I believe green, it'll be green steering. No nav and go around. Probably had brake fans, no ice detection. Everything else looks good. I'm curious to see. Let me look at the hydraulics here and some of the users' flight control. I don't think you'll be able to see it. So nose wheel steering, I believe, is going to be on green now. I think. This is an old school configuration here. We're gonna simulate that. We'll see if we can find any thing else when we do that. Everything else looks good. Everything is good there. Cool. All right, so we're done with that. We'll go back to this page. Let's go ahead and finish loading the box here. I have the Thrustmaster Boeing throttle quadrant showing up today. I'll have to dive back in for a bit myself. Ooh, that's exciting, man. That's always exciting to have one of those. We'll also do the RNAV arrival today in the Renos off of the Mustang VOR. So we'll do the RNAV 16 X-ray 16 left. Oh no, 16 left is closed today. So we got to do 16 right, RNAV X-ray, and I think we can do the approach via the Mustang VOR. We'll insert that. That is good. Secondary flight plan. Let's go ahead and do a quick initialization here. We're going to do LA to LA in case we pop an engine. Got to come back. We'll also turn on random failures too, because why not, huh? We'll do that. We'll do that here in a second. Let's finish loading the box. Gustavo, what's going on, man? Welcome. Steven, this bird is a little scuffed up today. It sure is, man. And you know what? This livery is even, it shows it. It's just dirty. It's awesome. So wait till we deploy the flaps. You're going to see all the grime and stuff. It's just awesome. We'll do 211 in the Vero for 25 right, 0 for 0 on the wind. Temperature off the ECAM, 22 degrees this morning in LA. Not a bad day. Not a bad day out there. And let's hit the magic FSX Barrow key. 299er4 is set. We'll put that right there. That's done. RadNav, nothing to hard tune. And NIT B, we have our fuel on board, if I'm not mistaken. We do 13.2. And fuel in tanks is balanced, so we'll put 13.2 right there. Up to the overhead. I'm getting that. Oh, I don't know if that's a sim update 10 thing or what, but I'm getting a little bit of a stutter in between flight or view swaps. You see that? See how it kind of lags out between the swaps? I'm not sure why. Oh, that sun is peeking up though. How beautiful is that? How? Oh my gosh! Screenshot, print screen. Let's just take a moment, 250 viewers, just take a moment and smash the like button for this, because this view right here, this is next generation of flight simulation. Look at this. Other than the airplane and the airport, everything else you're seeing is default. This is just next generation of flight sim. Crimson Ghost, you noticed that yesterday? Interesting. So maybe it's not just me. It makes me feel a little bit better that it's not just me getting that, but yeah, when I, like the game isn't stuttering, but when I do those view swaps, we get that stutter there. Brent, you know what? You say it's a heavy airport. I honestly didn't notice an impact on frames between the handcrafted premium that I had versus this one. It really didn't change it at all. So now I'm running a little bit beefier of a rig, but I mean, I could probably turn some settings down, but it's running smooth enough where I have pretty much everything on Ultra and Max, and I'm still streaming, and it's still good. We're in the constantly above 30 FPS at all times, so that makes me happy. Does Reno still have that climb requirement? Basis forcibly everyone to keep takeoff power to 7,000. You know what, Gustavo? I haven't taken off at a Reno in a good while. I'd have to double check. I'll have to double check for that. But, I mean, we're just looking at the sun pop. I mean, we should be finishing our pre-flight, but I'm just enjoying the sunrise stuff up here. Yeah, the gaps along the jetway. Now, I think if I used the GSX jetway, it would fix that. But I'm not very good with GSX. Just pretend it's like a glass and you can see people coming through. I mean, that's just... Look, this is in the terminal view here. Like, look at that. Look at the sun coming up through the window. How freaking cool is this? GSX profile for LAX. Yeah, MK, we're going to need one of those. We live in an amazing time for flight simming. I don't think my mind could have comprehended this when I was a kid. Matt, I'm right there with you, man. I am right there with you. Because it's funny, you look back and when you think about simming in previous years, like FSX, FS90, whatever it was, 98, I mean 2000, was it 2000 where the Concorde came out? That was a big one for me. I remember it just looked so real. I was like, oh, this is cool. And was it FS? Which one was it that the cover on the box of CDs, it was LAX. Like I remember there was like a 747 landing. It's like, and on the box of CD-ROM for the flight sim, it might have been 2002? Or it might have been, I can't remember which one it was, but it was even a touchdown in LAX. And I'm looking at the pictures on the box, driving home with it, thinking, oh, this looks so real. This is as real as it gets. And, you know, now you look back on old YouTube videos or internet photos of it, and you're like, oh, that doesn't look good at all. And then you look at this, it just blows my mind. Maybe it was Crimson Ghost. That was FSX. FS 2002 was SFO. You're right, Steven. Thank you. So FSX had the LAX arrival with the 747 on it. Exactly. You haven't lived until you've flown Wireframe Flight Simulator 3.0. I have not flown that one, Tony Johns. You got me there, my friend. No FSTL, Chris Levin. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I don't even really know what it is yet. There's a couple of videos someone posted in the member section of my Discord I'm going to watch. Maybe I'll dabble in that today, but it's more traffic, right? I don't know. I'm still going along the thing of if it's not broken, why fix it? But I have to. You guys keep recommending it, so I'm going to have to figure out what it is. You still have your CDs, Crimson Ghost? Awesome. All right, let's finish uploading the airplane here, shall we? GPS is primary. Our box is pretty much done there. Let's go over to our JEPs. We're going 2-4 right on the departure procedure, so let's go LAX. It's a real nice taxi out. For those of you that don't know, in LA, the North Complex is just so much nicer. It's easier to get around. It's quicker. The controllers are nicer. But we're going to be departing off of 2-4 left here. So we're going to taxi out. Quick taxi. We'll start them both before we taxi out. We'll do a 2-engine start. We're going to have to do a ground air start here at the gate. Then we're going to do a cross-bleed manual start. And then we'll taxi out 2-4 left. Probably Delta 9, Echoes. One of those combinations of there shouldn't be an issue at all. And then the departure itself, the Lady J4 going northbound, is right here. I've already started it. Vitor, what's going on? Welcome. This one here going up northbound. Yep, all the way to Castro intersection. I wonder if that's by Don Castro Reservoir. I used to fish Don Castro Reservoir when I lived out there. All right, that looks good. And so I guess we'll just leave that up. We don't have any ATC on. Top is 8,000, so if no ATC, let's just set our top altitude in the FCU of flight level 360. We'll get that in here. And then we're going to go over some of our procedures for ground air. We're going to have to configure the airplane. So 360 is set. And then let's look at takeoff perf data. We'll get this ready to go. Fly by Wire says my first sim on MS-DOS. Yeah, buddy. That's I tried to play a sim on MS-DOS. It was U.S. Navy Fighters, I believe, is what it was called. And I had like a Tomcat on the front, and it required you to use MS-DOS, but I could never get my Hewlett-Packard computer to work properly. I was nowhere near in the tech game. I was like, how do I get MS-DOS running on this thing? And so I sat there for, you can imagine as a young kid, just months looking at this U.S. Navy Fighters flight simulator game, and I couldn't play it because I couldn't get MS-DOS on my Hewlett-Packard 95 computer or whatever it was. All right, flap config, optimum, force Toga, yes, packs on. And that looks good. We'll sync live weather. 2906. Looks like we're going to be using flaps 1, 20, 35, 35. That should be fine. And you know what? We actually have our load sheet data, so we can put that in here. We'll go over to weight and balance real quick. We're 124.7 and 30.4. It sounds like they're pretty much done with bags. That's good. Let's see what kind of extra gas we got. Why do we have negative fuel? There we go. Probably need actually 2.8 alternate. 2.25 thousand. 22 minutes extra gas. I like that. Keep that right there. All right, so let's talk about what we need to do here for our MEL. We have a APU inoperative, and we need to use ground power and air. So let's accept the load sheet first. You got flaps 3 for takeoff those days. Is it normal? Why is it looks too much for me? Where were you taking off to get flaps 3? I've gotten flaps 3 before. It's not abnormal. It's all very dependent. All right, we got both of those. We'll accept those. Now we need to go to the actual ground menu here. So configuration, fuel, no, passenger cargo, no. How do I get to the menu? Maintenance, request maintenance on air, no. Ground services, here we go. Ground power and ground air is off. I'm gonna have to turn ground air on. Migs! Oh my goodness. Migs has gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Guys, a massive thank you to Mr. Migs for providing you guys with 10 extra memberships. If you pick up a membership from Migs, make sure you say thank you. Exclamation point, welcome. We'll get you all your info on the perks here, and all you new members, guess what? You get to join on the shorts video games. You get to check out the community tab where I post all my information to my members and stuff. And if you're a Discord user, you can get access to the V1 After Dark section of the Discord. So shout out Migs, thank you for the dono, man. Appreciate you. All right. So as far as I can tell, GSX is pretty much done with everything. So let's put our V speeds in here. And then we're going to do this. We can't do ground air. Yeah, someone said you have the services. Oh, that's this portable conditioned air. I don't want conditioned air. We need high-powered air. That's why we're not using the EFB for this particular malfunction that we're about to go over. So with the sync of the final weather, our final speeds are 20, 35, 35, flaps 1. So 120, 135, 135, flaps 1, down 0.2. All right. Yeah, that stutter is in transition. Look at the reflection coming off the airplane here. All right, so to configure for a ground air start utilizing ground power, we're going to configure the aircraft by shutting off any potential contaminants from the ground air cart into the cabin. So first things first, let's go ahead and turn our Pack 1, Pack 2 off. At this point, we'll go ahead and turn the APU bleed off, which is already in the off position. Cross bleed selector is going to go to the open position. At this point, aircraft is ready to receive ground air. So let's go ahead and finish some stuff here. We would go back to our Fenix cockpit to ground. We are all hooked up down here. We're ready to apply air on your command. Copy that. We'll go ahead and remove the chocks and the cones. We'll go ahead and close door 1 left. We're going to leave the jetway configured because in real life, I know we have a GPU cart right here, but in real life we probably have a ground power will be coming off of the jet bridge here, powering the airplane. So we're going to leave the jetway connected. All right, so we'd have to call ground. We'd have to get a permission for a ramp start. And once we get permission, ramp to Delta 357 at 33, we're going to start an engineer at the gate. Delta 357, roger, engine start approved, minimum power only, or actually that would be for a crossfade. He wouldn't even say that. He would just say, copy that, engine start at the gate approved, advise ready for pushback. So, with that said, we'll go ahead and get the beacon light on, and let's go ahead and clear this page out, and we'll wait for our doors and slides to arm, because just kind of like getting ready for pushback, you want to make sure everything's armed up and ready to go in case of a needed evacuation or something like that. So with that done, we'll go ahead and bring our Throttletek cam online. Cockpit to ground, you down there? Ground to cockpit, yes sir, we're ready. All right, we're ready to receive a ground air. Copy that, applying ground air, and you're cleared to start engine 2. Copy that, we're going to be starting engine 2. So he'll connect ground air, and you would hear a outside because it's really, really loud from a portable air conditioner, or not air conditioner, but a high pressure air cart. At this point, we move ignition start switch to ignition start. We can see now that we have 48 PSI, so we got a really good ground cart. So we're going to do an automatic start on this one, and then we're going to do a manual engine start for number 1. So we're clear on number 2. Confirm, confirm. Starting 2. Let's go ahead and enjoy the startup sounds. Just shout contact out the window, let them rip. Yeah, that cone got sucked in there for sure. Are you going to do true old school and do pushback with the reversers? No, Tony Johns, I don't think. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I do not believe Delta ever did power backs in the 320. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I have never seen an instance where a 320 did a power back. I think that went away with the JT8Ds. Huffer cart, yeah, that's exactly what we call them. Exactly, we still call them huffer carts. But everyone on the ground is officially deaf, correct. Everyone is deaf from outside. All right, we got a good start on number 2. At this point, we'll move the ignition start switch back to normal. We're not going to configure the airplaner because we still have to push back from the gate. We want to make sure we have a good engine start. I'll check the electrical page right here, and I'll come up here, and I will go external power off. And then we'll look down here. We've got good power. Cockpit to ground. We got a good engine start on 2. You're cleared to disconnect. Copy. Clear to disconnect. Stand by. So then they'd come over here and they would turn off the ground air, and then we can do our get ready for pushback and departure via GSX. I hate how you have to like double tap.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
You need to stop the engines. I don't want to request ground services. You're telling me I can't.
To stop the engines to request ground services.
You're telling me I can't push back with an engine running? I even put that option on. I clicked that option specifically. Well, that's some crap. All right. Well, that's another reason why GSX is still crap in my opinion. It's not ready for the sim. It's still, I feel like a beta tester. Like there's so many issues I'm finding. But let's go ahead and we'll do it the old school way. Because I even clicked, there's an option in GSX to do ground start before pushback, and I turned that on, but apparently it's not good enough for them. That's all right. We're moving. We're destroying all these carts over here. That's fine. All right, we got a good start on 2. At this point, we'll go ahead and commence the pushback. So let's connect tug. Now we can still do the Fenix tug. So we'll wait for the Fenix tug to get connected. At some point, hopefully, he'll drive up. Oh, this is like POV ramper right here. Underneath the building there. Where was I? How do I get back to that spot? Right here. This is POV ramper, shack oatmeal. Does the logo light turn off immediately after you get on the ground? I thought it was at the flap 1 retrack. Kevin, no, it stays on. The logo lights stay on the ground even with the flaps extended. I think it turns off with... I'd have to look up the logic on that. It stays on the ground because you see them on the ground all the time. But when you take off, I don't want to... Is it weight on wheels? I cannot remember the logic on that. I don't think it's coming either, Chris Stuper. What happened? Why don't I have a tug? All right. We'll go ahead and just start pushback. We'll go ahead and go brakes release. We'll do phantom tug. Straight back. We're doing our self tug back. That's fine. Oh, we don't need to do shift P. We'll use this because I can actually turn the airplane with this as well. You have to ask for pushback, then start engines before pushback, Lars? Okay, well that's completely stupid too. So that's just something that shouldn't be a thing, but it makes sense. Because you have a whole procedure to do before you even get a pushback clearance. When the mechanic has to manually operate the start valve. Have you seen a manual? Oh, have I seen a manual engine start? Oh, you're talking Crimson Ghost. Oh. I haven't done a manual engine start in a long time. I did one... Man, I did one years ago because it was a tailwind. We actually had a failed start, a failed automatic start. And then it directed us to do a manual engine start. But that was something a little bit different, I think, than you're talking about. We're going to do it here in a second. All right, push complete, set brakes. Brakes are set. Clear to disconnect. And let's go ahead and verify. That looks good. 22.8 in case there's somebody trying to talk to us. 22.8 is on. So in real life here, we have to do a crossbleed. Ooh, that's cool. 330 taking off. We got to do a crossbleed start. Now, you don't really want to do a crossbleed in the alley here on LA, and in real life, ground would not allow a crossbleed start here. So we're going to taxi out to a parallel taxiway or something where we can set the brakes and do our manual crossbleed engine start. The Phantom Tug, Nathan, that works straight through the EFB, so that's Fenix default tug system. It's pretty darn good, actually. I mean, if you get in a pinch, just use that. You can actually turn it left and right. All right, so with that done, I'm not even going to reconfigure the airplane because we have another engine to start. So let's go ahead and just taxi out, and we have a good start so we can get some air to the cabin. We'll go pack 2 on. Listen to that. You can hear I actually heard the engine pick up some load. Did you hear that? That was pretty cool. Yep, that's what we're going to do, Gustavo. We're going to do that next. So now we got pack 2 running, and you could go pack 1 here as well because we're going to have to redo this anyway. So we'll just reset the whole thing. We're going to reset the overhead. We'll get some air flowing to the cabin. It's probably getting toasty back there. Let's see. Yeah, 31C. See how hot it is? Oh, look, it's finally cooling down. That's just the name of the game when you ever get an airplane like this with no APU, especially summertime. All right, let's see where we're going to go do our crossbleed start at. Let's go back to taxi charts. The Fenix makes it very easy to do custom wing views. You just got to make sure your bindings are set properly, and you can move around and save wing views. Exclamation point wing view, I think we'll bring a link to the video I watched from XB72. All right, we're going to go out Delta 9. We'll start it on Echo. Okay, so we're going to taxi out. We'll set the brakes on Echo. LA traffic, Delta 357. We're going to taxi to 24 left via Delta 9, Echo. And we're going to be doing a crossbleed start on Echo, short of Delta 8, LA traffic. All right, so that's where we're headed. Light is on, brakes released. We do not need the yellow electric pump because number 2 is already running. So if we look here, Yellow is on, but we got to run the PTU in the back, so you should be able to hear it. Listen, this is why you don't single engine taxi on number 2. This is just like real life. It's not rolling. There we go. A little bit of breakaway thrust. Logo lights are on when main struts are compressed or slats extended. Thank you, Key 6. There you go. So yeah, that makes sense. So when you pop the slats out in flight, the logo lights come on. Or after takeoff. Listen to that PTU barking though. That's very realistic.
And LA traffic, Redwood 1483, we're on hold short runway 24 right for takeoff to Reno, LA traffic.
Alright, so we're going to taxi out here now in real life with a, wow, look at the textures, with a competent FO, and basically, so any FO, we would probably be able to accomplish all of these procedures on the roll without stopping and setting the brake, but because I am single pilot here, we're just going to go to the parallel taxiway and set brakes. But, you know, Phantom 320 was sitting next to me, we could easily get this procedure accomplished on the rollout and then be ready to go short of the runway. If you press the electric pump, won't it stop the PTU from cracking? No, it will not, Infinite, because remember, the PTU is using the yellow system to pressurize the green system. We have no way to pressurize the green system right now because engine 1 is off, other than the PTU. So if you look at the hydraulics, how is green pressurized? An engine-driven pump and via the PTU. So we have to get the PTU going to get the green system pressurized. That's why if you taxi out on engine number 1 with the green system pressurized, you turn on the yellow electric pump, which would then shut off the APU, so you can then, I don't know if we're going to be able to make this turn here. Come on, baby, I'm at 40%. I don't want to increase it more than that. Come on, baby. Chris Levin, yes, there is a warm-up time depending on the motor that you have, and also depending on the ambient temperature of the oil too. So there's a couple limitations you got to look at. If it's really cold, you actually look at the oil temperature, but typically 3 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on how long the airplane has been sitting. So if you get an airplane that's been sitting overnight, then you're going to need at least a 5-minute warm-up on it. So you probably start both engines. But yes, that's absolutely correct. You need a warm-up time as well. All right, we'll go ahead and set the brake here. We'll go ahead and turn off the taxi light. All right, so now we need to configure for a cross-bleed manual engine start. So to get the cross-bleed set up, let's go ahead and come back to the overhead. We're going to turn off the packs yet again, so we have maximum pressure from the engine. We're not wasting any. We're going to open the cross-bleed valve. Engine bleed receiving engine is on. Or I believe engine receiving engine is off. And the providing engine is on with the cross-bleed open. Okay, so now we are set up to do proper cross-bleed. What we're going to do now is we'll go ignition mode to ignition start. When all the amber X's are gone, which they are, and I don't know why Microsoft does this thing where it keeps cycling that switch. But first things we got to do now is we got to give ourselves some juice. So at 30 PSI, let's go ahead and juice it up a little bit more. We'll go right to the limit, right about 40% N1. We got 38 PSI. Now we're going to do the manual engine start for number 1. So there's a couple different reasons why you would do a manual engine start. We're just going to simulate we've done this via maybe an ECAM procedure. We got to do a manual engine start. So we're going to go ahead and press the man engine start button. You're going to see the engine start to motor. N2 is on the rise. We're going to wait for max motoring here, and then we're going to introduce fuel via our engine start master switch. So the way, if you really break it down, this is just how Boeings start their engines. Okay, so we got max motoring on N2, introduce fuel. Of course, we'd be starting the clock. You can see we have ignition A and B is on. That is properly simulated, so we got both igniters working. It only needs one But during a manual engine start, you will have 2 igniters working. And one is on the rise. Of course, we'd have a KRNO working, and we would also, the first officer would be guarding the engine master switch because you do not have start fault protection during this type of startup. So if you've got a hung start, a hot start, anything like that, you'd have to manually abort the engine start. Okay, we've got, looks like with a bleed valve that's closed, I can go ahead and reduce the power there on number 2. UGTs are coming up. Number 1 is still right on the rise. We got an avail light. Boom, we're gonna go normal. Arm the speed brakes, air bleed 1 off, that's associated. We're going flaps 1. Let's watch that come out because it's juicy. Amazing. Yeah, we did get a ping from LA Center, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and clear the caution. Then let's go ahead and reconfigure. So crossbleed will go to the auto position. Engine 1 bleed will come on. Pack 2 can come on. Pack 1 can come on. Manual engine start push button will go off, and then we'll go ahead and close the guard. So now we should have all of our bleeds on, and at this point I'm actually going to go ahead and start cooling the cabin because it's probably been hot. I'll even go high flow, and we're going to crank those temps down. So hopefully we can get the passengers nice and cool. We'll take a look here. You can see 29C. If I go to the bleed page, these should be moving over to the high position here because we do have 2 bleed sources, so we should get a high flow here at some point. But there we go. F-start checklist is complete. We're doing a 0.2 down on the trim. Let's go ahead and set that. And we'll do the rest of our checks while we wait. So flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Auto brakes max, takeoff config checked. That's on, that's on. We'll go TARA and we'll call LA Center here with the clearance. Or he's already given us a clearance. So we are LA to Reno, beacon code 7225. Climb via as found, maintain 5,000. Departure is 3555. Contact 3555 when ready for taxi. So 3555, we'll call him up. 35, oh, you can't, I mean, you can't see it. There we go. 3555 and a 5,000 initial. Go ahead and bring that back down. All right, there we go. So our procedure is complete, and we'll give him a call. LA Center, Delta 357, squawking 7225, ready taxi here in LA. $35.55. Oh, helps if you actually...
Can you see 1 second?
Helps if you actually flip the switch, huh? Oh.
151 ready for taxi, we're at Delta 10, sure. Aircraft 151, roger. Runway 24 left, taxi via Delta 10 Echo. Delta 10 Echo to 24 left, aircraft 151. Avenue 525, out to Docker, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
So we are on Echo short of Delta
Redwood, the 1483, please check your PDC for your squad code.
So we got a PDC.
Oh, yeah, we check the briefing.
We shouldn't have to do a full clearance here with him. Ah.
Aircraft 775, descend via the Angel 4 by altimeter 29906.
Does the Phoenix come with passenger ambient sound?
On Delta 2602, LA.
I don't know. I think that's my...
Delta 2602, squawk 7365.
Which I don't like. I'm actually going
American
to...
2479 at Bourbon, cleared ILS runway 26 after approach.
At Bourbon, clear the ILS 26 left approach, American 2479.
Cactus 101, climb, maintain for level 260.
Jeez, this guy's busy.
Can maintain 260, Cactus 101.
Southwest 1060, climb, maintain for level 280.
Climb, maintain 280, Southwest 1060.
Southwest 121, with a contact, climb via the...
Bert
Raider
Jones, no,
2,
that cabin ambiance was from my FS realistic profile. I just turned it off.
120 Raider 2 and currently passing 3,700 feet.
Thanks, Southwest 102, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff from me, 261,
United 1241, turn left, direct Clipper.
Left Clipper, United 1241.
Redwood 1483, squawk 7, actually standby.
LA Center, Delta 357, squawking 7225, short of Delta 8, ready taxi.
Redwood 1483, ready contact. Climb maintain flight level 360.
It's almost like real LAX.
Climb
Yeah, it
maintain
is.
level 360, Redwood 1483. Lufthansa 517, runway 24 right, clear to land.
Ooh, 24 right, a Lufthansa.
24 right, clear to land.
United 1241, climb maintain flight level 350.
Well,
350, United 1241.
American 2475, are not to Docker, runway 25 right, clear for
Gustavo.
takeoff.
So famous. No, not that famous.
Actually, American 2475, I'm going to send you a PDC right now. You're still clear for takeoff, just check your transponder code.
Ooh, looks like there is. Is that a 7-4?
We'll get the code of the box.
Can't quite make it out yet. LA Center, Delta 357, short of Delta 8, squawking 72225, ready taxi.
Delta 357, continue taxi via runway 24 left via Echo and squawk normal when able.
Squawk normal 24 left via Echo for Delta 337. Alright, so that's on.
7525, ready to
That will
contact.
standby.
Climb maintain for level 340, say altitude.
Here we go.
Delta 2602, ready to contact, cleared ILS runway 24 right.
Good afternoon, United 1616, Provo 320.
Oh, look at that. What's that,
United
380?
1616, squawk 7171.
7171.
Gosh.
United 121, climb maintain for level 282. Sorry, Southwest 121, climb maintain for level 282.
280, Southwest 121.
Southwest 102, ready to contact, climb maintain for level 280.
We're going full length, 24
and,
left.
say altitude.
Level 280, ready to passing 3,900, Southwest 122.
Thanks, American 2388, runway 26 right, good for takes. Number 486, yard number 1 for departure, just stand by there.
Roger, November 486.
Delta 1653, cleared ILS, runway 24 right
Departures
approach.
monitor tower at this point. Love to see that.
Lucas.
Alright, we'll hold short 24 left.
Los Angeles ground, Southwest 690, requesting VFR clearance to San Diego.
VFR clearance to San Diego? Did he say VFR clearance is the Southwest?
Traffic requesting IFR sequence.
Maybe he said maybe it was IFR.
Lufthansa 517, cross runway 24 left at Alpha, taxi to ramp via Echo. Have a nice day.
I know, Robin. FS 2002, that's where you started. It's crazy.
Delta
when you think about it.
357, runway 24 left, line up and wait. Traffic 340 crossing downfield.
24 left, line of way, okay. So.
Highway
Line up and wait.
1762 descend via the Angel 4 variable
Screenshot.
altimeter 299.
I wish we could see a 146. I believe this is a BAE 146. Come on, baby, up the hill. Let's go. These CFMs, man, they're so weak and puny.
Stand by.
We got to line up
Delta
and wait. So
2620.
top row is
LA.
on. And taxi light is on. And we're line up and wait, so we'll go.
Delta 2620, squawk 7205.
RA. Climbing the hill.
United 1776, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Yeah, phase one. I heard VFR too, right?
$125 is what's the weather rate.
United
I really need to start sending with track IR on again.
76 again.
Really need to get track IR back on.
Thanks. Delta 357 out up to Delray, runway 24 left, cleared for takes.
Arnav Delray, 24 left, go for takeoff, Delta 357. Arnav Delray, here we go, light it up.
Ready to contact, turn left,
Yoga's
direct Gleeper,
in
climb,
chat.
maintain
Let's do it.
13,000,
Nose
stay
forward on
up.
the stick, spooling it up 50.
Left direct Clipper 13000, and we're passing through 3000, American 2475.
Thanks.
Smash down that like button for Toga Thrust. Here we go.
320 LA Center, squawk 7316.
Gotta love it. Basically
American
real life.
388, ready to
Man,
contact,
Toga,
climb,
SRS,
maintain
runway
level
auto thrust is blue.
280, say altitude. Thanks, and American 2388,
I don't know.
280 will
Check.
be your top.
V1,
Number 486, only 19 right, line up upwards.
rotate.
19 right, line up 40.
American 2475, cleared, direct, Mike.
Herein. Navin.
Direct Mindset, American 2475.
Delta 2620 with a contact
Fly with.
at Circus, cleared, ILS, only 24 right approach. United 1616, descend via the Angel 4, arrival at altimeter 2996.
I gotta say the rotation feels really good. at the
Contact
Fenix.
121, descend via the Angel 4, arrival
Feels
at altimeter
really, really good.
2996.
Descend by the NG4 296.
All right, let's go ahead and lower that nose. We're at or below 3, so I'm gonna go ahead and start coming back early. We're
Delta
MCT.
25, only 19 left, taxi
And
via
there
Delta.
we go.
Caution,
We'll go right
pass
back
via Golf, Delta.
into thrust, climb, nav.
American
Auto thrust is
2479,
on.
only 26 left, cleared left.
Look at that thing of beauty right
American
there.
775, for traffic, turn left heading 180, descend and maintain level 200.
United level 67, flight level 260, Angel 4.
God, we need to just go autopilot on. So we
United
can
11,
enjoy these
69, LA
views.
Center, squawk 721.
Look at
Caution,
that, huh?
7,
Just a
2, 1, 1.
beautiful, slick, calm morning here in LA.
Yeah, level 67.
Yep, Richland, I'm at 0%.
72, 11.
Now, I will say this version I'm flying is a modified.
Delta 357 with a contact, climb maintain level 360, stay at altitude.
Call and maintain flight level 360. We're passing 3.5 for Delta 357. 360 is set. We got to climb and maintain, so we'll just go open climb. We are thrust climb, open climb. There's S speed. We'll go flaps 0. Should get a little nose up pitch here. Lower that nose a little bit. 0% curves, but this is a closed beta test of the flight controls. But yeah, it's still very good. Still feels pretty good.
Los Angeles ground, Southwest 690, requesting VFR clearance to San Diego.
Sideway 690.
Max, you have to do a full reinstall. Yeah, my settings are in the FS 2020 section of the Discord. They should be pinned there. Toby? No, I'm not using Toby. I don't personally like Toby. I know Christy loves Toby. I do like Track IR though, and I think I'm going to start using it on streams again.
Number 486, only 19 right, clear for
CZ
takeoff.
bank here to the right.
19 right, clear for takeoff.
Aircraft 151, contact open departure 124.5.
Man, that just looks amazing, doesn't it?
Anyone at LAX or San Diego, contact SoCal departure 124.5, please.
He just asked for VFR again. Was it sure? I thought I heard VFR myself.
Delta 2602 SoCal. Caution,
At or
LA.
above 7, but it doesn't matter because we're already getting a climb and maintain, so we're going all the way up.
Contact SoCal approach
You could have
124.5.
probably should have had Track IR on, or not Track IR. Sorry, terrain mode on. Nice, easy turnout here.
Delta 1653, contact SoCal approach 124.5.
Yoda, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. Glad to have you on board.
Delta 1653, contact SoCal approach 124.5.
Just a lazy departure here,
Southwest
northbound, big
1762,
lazy
descend
turn to
via
the
Angel
north.
4, arrival altimeter 2996.
You know, and if you've flown out over the water and it's calm, you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. But, like, the ocean has a slickness that you don't see all the time. You really have to have a truly calm seas. But when you do, like typically early in the morning, you see this. You see this nice little reflection here. It almost looks weird to see the ocean flat because it's not very flat calm very frequently. I mean, even like out over the Gulf and stuff, you can see some chop. But when the days are slick calm and the reflections are there, they've nailed this though. I mean, that just looks so good to me. Early morning, no wind, freaking beautiful. Yes, you could set a keybind to toggle Track IR, and I'm gonna do that with Blue Mac. I'll probably start doing it for the next couple streams. because it would just make it so much easier, like lining up and taxiing. And I'm probably gonna end up making a custom profile just for streaming. All right, so our temperatures have come down nice.
Roger.
All right, my bleed. Oh, okay, so you can see, look, my bleed valves are in high. So that's because we're in high flow. Let's go ahead and go back to normal. I'll bring my temps back up here like this. We're at 11 o'clock position. And look, you can see the bleed valves now are moving to the normal position. Oh, we no longer need terrain mode. We'll turn that off. That looks good. We'll go secondary, copy active. Everything looks good. We're cruise climb now. We'll go autopilot 1. Full screen live cam.
Direct.
Malibu under the wing, yep. This is making me want to do a trip out to LA. This makes me want to do a trip out to LA, man.
Number 4100 Bravo.
Like, I don't even know where to put the camera because everything just looks so good. Yeah, that stutter in the outside. So I'm going to need to get two things. I need to get my track IR bound up, and then I need to bind a separate controller for outside views.
Okay, 775. No, after Cebu, direct. Actually, just you can expect the ILS runway 25 left from Cebu. Yes, direct Cebu, please.
All right, we're 16, climbing to 36.
American 2479, cross
Oh
runway
my,
26
look
right,
at
taxi
that.
1 p.m. Bravo. Have a nice day.
That's just awesome, huh?
Number 486.
Have you heard of any talks in the community about a premium build JFK? I have not. I have not, Bert. Quick question, have you ever accidentally picked up a bad habit from flight sim and used in real life?
Thank you, $25. Thanks for your
No.
patience. Only 1 minute left.
Not really, Liam. Now, I will say the...
Aircraft 775.
When I switched to the throttle, to getting a new thrust lever, I noticed myself doing some weird things, some like mental, or what's the word, muscle memory wise. So during the year of COVID, obviously I took a leave and I simmed with you guys a lot. And I was using a Warthog fighter stick, which was a right-handed grip. And I thought it was fine. You know, I was using my throttles on the left hand, which it obviously is not what I do in the real airplane because I sit in the left seat because I'm the captain. But at home, I was simming with it. I didn't think of anything of it. But over those couple of months where I didn't fly a real airplane at all, when it was time to go back into the sim, I noticed some of my immediate muscle memory actions were a little bit delayed, or I was kind of wanting to confuse which hand was moving to like do an RTO because I was using the sim so much from the right seat. Essentially, I had right seat hardware, and then when I go back to the real airplane and sit in the left seat, it just it started to cause a little bit of an issue. So that's when I immediately jumped over to the TCA pack because I said I just need to get a set of left thrust levers. Or, I'm sorry, captain side thrust lever, so being able to use them on the right hand. And I used it for a little bit, and then I ended up, being fortunate enough to get together with FSprojects and get a proper captain side stick, and then, of course, with the Throttletek, partnering with Roberto at Throttletek, being able to have some Airbus thrust levers and put them on the proper side of my seat at home was good, too. But only bad habit he got is saying flyby every time he rotates. I've thought about it, Richland. After I take off, I'm like, flyby, or I wish.
Route 501, turn 5 degrees right, maintain 4,000
we're looking good. God, the textures on this livery is so nice. It's definitely older. It's got some grime on it. Have I accidentally said spoil brakes in real life? Ask Kevin. Thanks for the support, man. I don't believe I have. Maybe. I might have. Kind of as a joke, but I do not believe, like, I haven't said it just like and had someone catch on to it.
Contact at circus cleared ILS runway 25 left approach.
That's a good way to get banned.
Net 403.
Follow me on my socials for a Toga takeoff. Have I ever said yoga instead? I have. I don't think I've physically said yoga, but I've thought about it when I was doing a Toga takeoff. I was like, all right. And actually, I got to be careful, because if I do a lot of sims with you guys and we're always doing Toga, when I go to actually do a flex takeoff, I'm like, okay, stop at flex. Matter of fact, there was one takeoff I did. I remember I went past the flex detent for like an inch. I went ding ding, and then I went past the detent. I'm like, oh no, come back to flex. Considering I'm right-handed, I found it surprisingly easy to transition to using the side stick on the left. It is. It's an easy transition. It's weird for, like, I don't know, maybe a handful of flights. If you transition sticks, maybe your hardware right now, you only have a right-handed stick, but maybe you're getting a TCA pack, or you're going to get some other side stick. Just go up in the pattern. Do some pattern work. Get 3 or 4 landings down, and you'll get it. It'll come to you. It's a matter of getting used to it, and it only takes a handful of approaches and flights to get it down. How often do you Toga in real life? Not very often, honestly. Not very often. Now, as we get into wintertime and it starts to get contaminated runways with snow and things like that, then we might start seeing some Togas. And even then, that's kind of debatable. I'm still going on, still debate that on a daily basis. You know, if you have a contaminated runway with snow, what is safer, Toga takeoff or a flex takeoff? If you Toga and you lose an engine before V1, your directional control is going to be pretty rough. So I don't know. That's something to think about. How about announcing to the passengers that you need thumbs up before you take off? Yeah, critical inception. I'm going to have to do that. And they're like, yeah, before we take off, I need 300 likes. Ever notice any handling differences between aircraft with sharklets and wing fences? Yes. You've only flown sharklets in real life? Alex, so the non-sharklet aircraft, or the wingtip fence aircraft, they tend to just kind of settle a little bit quicker, probably about a fraction of a second quicker. You know, when you come into land, you probably... I mean, if you haven't flown anything without wingtip fences, then it may be kind of hard to relate to. But essentially, what happens? You come into that round out and flare, and they just kind of keep going. You start that round out and flare, and if you're right at VAP and you're going right into the VREF speed, they just settle down. The sharklet aircraft, to me, you can almost feel a little bit more of a cushion there, which would make sense, right? Because if you think about the wingtip fence versus the sharklet, it adds about 3 feet of wing. Is this guy? Are we still in this guy's center? I mean, he just keeps going. But yeah, it's just a little bit less of a cushion there when you round out and flare. Do you know why I have the replay mode anymore in the sim? Ali Nichols, I do not. I use a Flight Sim TO recorder. I can't be the one who... I do say ERP, Phase 1. I do say ERP when I park. ERP! Barrel ref discrepancy. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's 7167.
Alright. Looks like it's going to be pretty smooth. So let's go ahead and just turn the seatbelt sign off here. It's a short flight. The seatbelt sign off. We'll let them roam. We'll enjoy some view. Look at the fog and the marine layer and the valleys there. I changed the course from the rad nav and it deleted the 3-degree slope. How do I put it back? Always says format air. Just put the low frequency back in there. Put the identifier back in there, or just clear it out. Just clear it out, or just reload the approach. Why are transition altitude different at different airports? In the U.S., they're all the same. It's 18,000 feet, but it has to do with terrain clearance. So out in Europe, I mean, you've got some really low transition altitudes. I believe I was listening to Flight Deck to Sim on one of his streams. He said, at this airport, when you depart, you actually set standard before you take off because you're going to fly through the transition altitude and the climb out anyway. Thought that was kind of interesting. Will you usually get more drag on a descent with a strong tailwind, or does it depend on the flight plan? It kind of depends, Matt. You know, if you have that tailwind component and you've updated the winds in your box, it should try to at least accommodate those winds, but you're probably going to get them. I mean, the Airbus on our current FMS load without FMS2, it is... somebody just flushed the toilet apparently. It is... I don't think we're still on this guy's center. I'm going to turn him off. It is still... I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what we were talking about because that guy was so loud in my ear. Anyway, moving on. Oh, the more drag. No, yeah. You see the more drag pretty often on the Airbus in real life. You tend to see that quite a bit. Yeah, a lot of places like 5,000 feet. Oh, yeah. Man, the toilets are going off like crazy today. That's the one thing with morning flights. You guys were asking me if you like morning flights. Well, guess what? That forward lav is right behind your, right behind the captain's seat. So when people go up there to do their morning business, it definitely wafts into the cockpit. The morning flights are the worst for that because everyone's got to do what they got to do, and that's something you have to put up with. Taco Tuesday in LA. Exactly, Steven. It's Taco Tuesday, V-Spirit, double points. I'm half tempted to do a after dark stream. Do another V-Spirit fly. Okay, why does the toilet just keep going off? Is my profile not synced, or what's going on here? Vodka, you got called in the gym? Ah, man. I thought you were going to take that 146 all the way up to Reno. I'm just going to turn off my FS Realistic. Don't really need it. I mean, you honestly don't need FS Realistic with the Airbus. What's happening here? Thrust climb, open climb, everything looks good. Milan. 32 for 36. Pretty short flight today. Someone at Taco Bell before the flight is taking up residence. It's rough, man, trust me. The lav is working double time because of Taco Tuesday. Dude. A multiple flush. Hey, that's when you know it's a bad one. All the morning coffee? Yeah. All right. Here we go. We're climbing up to...
American 2388, safe position.
Reminds me of the burrito story. Chris, you're exactly right, man. I will never judge, you know, because when you gotta go, you gotta go. I've been there, and if you've never been there, it's only a matter of time before you do get there. All right, Reno Tahoe is what we're looking at today. 16 right is what we're planning on. 16 left is closed. We're not on an arrival. We're actually going straight from the Mustang VOR on the approach for the RNAV GPS X-ray 16 right is what we need. So we get rid of that one. We'll start this one. 16. Oh no, 16 right. I had it right. Oh my gosh, now I'm all... There's a bit of a delay. 16... On P Zulu? Which one did we load in the box? We got Reno 16 right. We're on the RNAV X-ray 16 right from Mustang. RNAV, Yankee, Zulu. Interesting. I don't see it. RNAV Yankee 16 right. RMP Zulu 16 right. What? Am I going crazy? ILS X-ray 16 right.
Airbus 2568 to standby. Jordanian 10 with zero contact.
I must be going crazy here. 16 right is closed. I thought 16 left was closed.
And is Delta 2134 on the frequency.
Maybe we don't have the proper...
Delta 2134 LA.
It's not calling us. Let's zoom in here. Let's see what we got. Let's go plan mode. RNAV 16 right from Mustang. Yeah, that's the chart I want right there. Goes up to Roxjo. We must not have the chart. Let's one more time. ILS RNAV Yankee 16 left. No, don't want you. RNP Yankee 16 right. No, don't want you. RNP Zulu 16 right. Don't want you. That's bizarre. We don't have the chart.
Delta 20.
RNP X-ray 16 left. Must be going crazy here. Alright. That's right, we're going to land on, let's just change runways 16 left then, I guess. RNAV X-ray 16 left. Approach via Mustang. Insert. Come on, main.
Airbus 121 at circuit cleared ILS runway 24 right contact circle approach 124.5.
There we go, and nav. Still should be the same thing.
Airbus 102 at circuit
All the way, RNF 16, cool. Progress page, let's put in KRNO in here, and then we actually got to look at some, terrain up here. Let's do 7-8 on the descent and 310 knots. Slow it down a little bit. Going to Mexico to spend Christmas with my in-laws. Gonna have the best tacos every dang day. Oh yeah. What's up, Giuliani? He says, I hope you're doing well. Just curious, is the weather radar? No, it is not working yet. It's not working yet, my friend. Not working yet. How does the plane compare to the fly-by-wire? It's more polished, in my opinion. Definitely more polished. There's some bugs floating around with the fly-by-wire still. But if you just want to get in and do normal ops, there's nothing wrong with the fly-by-wire. You know, it hand flies decently. It's got fantastic sounds. But the Fenix, you can't, I don't really think you can compare them anymore. I mean, you're looking at a payware quality airplane that has a system simulation at a depth that's used for, you know, full cockpit builds with ProSim. And will the fly-by-wire get there? I'm sure it will at some point. But, you know, this is much more a feature complete, I would say, for the most part, than the fly-by-wire. But the fly-by-wire still has some of the best sounds of any Airbus and any sim, so that makes it very fun to get in and fly. Is it hard to be qualified for the 330, 350 type rating? Someone already hold the 320? No, I don't think it would be that difficult. Once you already know the Airbus way of thinking, I think, you know, that's kind of what Airbus is actually going after. They're going after the one cockpit initiative, trying to bring up, that's what the whole point of FMS2 is, and that's for getting all the cockpits to be very, very similar. With FMS2 coming to the narrow body aircraft, what's going to happen is it's going to bring the 320 family up to some of the standards that you see on the 350. So you'll see some vertical profiling, you'll see some flap extension points, all that good stuff. That's what they're going for. So if you're already typed on the narrow body, I mean, yeah, there's going to be some differences, of course, and you're going to have a whole set of new limitations you got to learn. But you know the big part of managed mode, selected mode. You know how the Airbus tries to do things, the flight control laws and all that. So it would definitely be easier. Look at the weather in Reno; it's beautiful. No wind, calm, clear, temperature 20. You couldn't have asked for a better day to land in Reno right now. 040 on the wind. QNH is 3021. We'll throw that in the barrel ref over here. 5098 is set. That looks good. Does Fenix have ChartFox charts integration or not yet? I'm not sure what you mean by ChartFox integration. It just has Navigraph charts. Like you can see right here. You hook it up to your Navigraph and you're good to go. Fly-by-wire does the same thing. You can pull your Navigraph charts up as well. All right, so let's look at this chart here. There's a nice turn here at Roxjo, 220 knots max. So we want to make sure we start configuring. In fact, I'm actually going to input a self-imposed speed here at Roxjo of 180 knots because I want to slow it up a little bit here for that turn. So we're going to self-impose a speed constraint of 180 knots at Roxjo. What else can we expect? Procedure not authorized for arrivals in the Mustang VOR from a different. We're not worried about that. Any other constraints? Not really. We don't have to look at that too much. Everything else looks pretty good. 220 at Roxjo. We're going to be LNAV, VNAV. We got 5098 set. We do not need LS push buttons. We'll go auto brakes low, full flaps, full reverse. And I'm only going to do auto brakes low just because to minimize myself of actually stepping on the rudder pedals and it being kind of a little bit jerky for me, we're going to just let the auto brakes slow it down. We'll do a little bit of auto braking and full reverse there. But yeah, we don't have long to go to start top of descent, and I'm excited to fly into LA or into Reno because we haven't done a Reno flight in quite some time. Getting ready to go over the mountains, just scenic as all can be today. Are pseudo waypoints for flap extension FS2 actually at all useful, Maxime? You know what? When I start flying it consistently on the line, I'll let you know. I'm curious myself. Looks like Reno Approach is online. Reno Approach will be 19.2. We'll prime him up. I think there's no way we're still under LA center control right now. I think he forgot about us. I got 19.2 ready to go. Still a little bit out from top of descent. We got our weather. It's a beautiful morning. Look at these views down there. God, it's so good. I love this sim. This sim is just fun, man. It's fun. When is the right time to use manual brakes when landing? Honestly, I use manual brakes almost all the time, unless there's strong crosswinds, or there's this runway-specific operation that requires use of manual brakes, or excuse me, auto brakes. So some short runway operations, typically less than 5,000 feet of landing distance, you're going to be required to use medium brakes, auto brakes. So that would be another instance, but most of the time I use manual brakes because it keeps the brakes cool. Like using low brakes is just, they heat up so fast all the time. I don't know why guys love them. Well, at least where I work, most of us are pretty much on the same page. Most everybody uses manual brakes. You use manual brakes, full reverse, even auto reverse. Just let it slow down. Don't touch the brakes till it hits 100 knots, and you can keep those brakes nice and cool, nice and cool. Got some center controllers always forget about you. Man, LA Tower's back on. Everyone's popping back online. You're missing some V1 flights to Burbank? Ooh. Double back, go Burbank, LA. Reno ATIS information is alpha. We have that. Do you get ABS with manual brakes? Yes, so you could stand on the brakes and it will not lock up with normal braking. With alternate braking, no. When will the contrails be back on the Fenix? IFR Captain, I didn't even realize the contrails were gone. Honestly, had no idea they took them off. Maybe it was a performance thing. Oh, this is some club music if I ever heard some.
Delta 2134, SOCA.
Pretty sure. Yeah, he's forgot about us. Let's tune up Reno Approach. 19.2 is online. We'll wait till he pings us. Well, it's going to be nice coming in here on the mountains. There was recently a brake fire at the gate from an Airbus at Denver. Really, Siegfried? I wasn't aware of that. Do I weight lift? I do. Do you even lift, bro? Have I ever flown to MHPR? Not ringing a bell, Randy. Not ringing a bell. Where's MHPR? Let me look it up. MHPR. No, I don't believe so. What's your max gross weight of takeoff weight? Is it recommended to uninstall a Zobo? Yes, Andres Frank. It is recommended from INI to uninstall that. And if you're unsure how to do it, it's pretty simple. You just go to the... Whoa, sorry. You just go to your content manager and then just filter LAX. And you'll see the Zobo LAX there. And all you got to do is just click on it, uninstall. And then personally, I would then just close the sim and then install LAX on top of it, because it will cause conflicts. It was United Airbus. It happened on your day off. Wow. What's the difference between packs off and packs on takeoff? So, in simplest form, using the packs, the pneumatic air cycle kit is going to use engine performance to power them. It takes bleed air from the engine, right? So you are degrading your thrust output when you're running the packs. Now, in most normal operations, that's always accounted for and you're good to go. However, there are scenarios where you're going to need more performance, and an easy way to get a little extra juice is to turn the packs off. So in the Airbus, there's two ways to do it. You can either just turn the packs off and take off with Toga thrust, or you can just leave the APU bleed on, which is the preferred method, because if you leave the APU bleed on, the bleed logic in the Airbus is going to prioritize the APU bleed for pneumatics. So it's going to unload both engines of their pneumatic air cycle kit duties, and it's going to give it to the APU. So the APU is running all that, done, and you get all the performance you need from your engines. So kind of the best of both worlds. However, you start getting into different countries around the globe. A lot of them have a really strict APU restrictions, which then you're not going to be able to use the APU. So you got to do the packs off method. Going to have another streaming tour like I did the Euro. Giuliani, we did multiple tours from them. We did the Asia Pacific tour, which was a lot of fun. We did Kai Tak, we did Pero Bhutan. We flew into Vietnam, which was kind of cool. Never flown over there. Then we did the South America tour, which we just wrapped up, which was a blast. Speaking of, I do have the video that I'm going to upload here for everybody if you didn't see it earlier. But we're getting close towards the end here. Getting close to TOD. Oh man, look at that. Let's do this. I like the top. I don't know why. I'm starting to like this view better. Top-down view. He's saying "in my soul," but it sounds like he's saying something else. Packs off, slacks off. What? Let's go ahead and... I know Christy likes that music. How are we looking? We are 160 miles out. No, we haven't done in a while. Let's go ahead and let's take a little sneak peek in the cabin, shall we? Let's step out for a lap break. Head in here. Do our business. Not model, it's alright. Door is not armed. Full galley. I like the headrest, the Fenix headrest. That's pretty cool. Turn up the sounds. You can hear it changing. It's pretty good. Nice little sound set. God, I love the textures looking out on the wing. The wing textures on this airplane are fantastic. Single class, all economy configuration today, so it looks like you probably fit, what's that for a 320? It's got to be 100, probably close to 180 seats. I don't know, do we have a row number? Oh, we don't have row numbers up here. I'm actually kind of surprised. Oh, no, we do. Row 30. So what's 30 times 6? Because that would be all the seats, right? 180 seats, right? Yeah, so that'd be right. 162 says Blue Mac. Well, this one, we got 30 seats. It's more than that. I know it's more than 162. I think it is 180. Yeah, because you've got 30 rows and you have 6 seats a row. Yeah, 180 exactly. There's your row, dead last row. Oh yeah, this is where most of us sit on. Deadheads or commuter. This is the commuter row right here. My commuter's where you at? Just chilling. Like, ah man, got up at 3:30 this morning, drove to LA, caught my Delta flight to Reno, deadhead, or commute to Reno. Now I gotta fly Reno to LA to Dallas. It's the life of a commuter, man. Sitting back here, got your headphones on so no one talks to you. Been there. See if you can turn off the cabin main switch. Ceiling above. See if you can turn off the cabin main switch in the ceiling above. Oh, you mean, no, the maintenance bus. That's the maintenance bus, Chris. I don't believe it's modeled. You're talking about the maintenance bus up on the overhead? We'll take a look at it here in a second, but I'm kind of enjoying this view. You always sit in the back on flights? Really? You guys like this view back here? Oh, look at that. Who's 49er Delta Bravo? That sounds like Phantom 320. Flew row 30 run from UK to Italy. Ooh. Yes, there is a row 13, Dave. unlike hotels, right? No 13th floor. How was the Fenix FPS compared to the PMDG? Not as good, but it's gotten much better. As updates continue to come out, I feel like it's less frame heavy. But there is no denying the fact that the Phoenix, I'm sorry, that the PMDG. I know that voice. There is no denying that the PMDG is probably the most optimized airplane. I say that. The BAE 146 is also very, very well optimized. I really want to get back on the BAE 146. We got to do a 146 flight here pretty soon. Maybe we'll do a members only flight. $180 for Wizz Air or Ryanair, perhaps. I don't think so on companies that are more luxurious. Yeah, Winter Splash. When you have this is an all econ configuration. If you have more, if you have like another section up front, you got a bulkhead, and you've got to space out those big seats in the front, those first class seats, then it'll knock it back a little bit. Asian carriers usually don't have a row 13. Really? Now that is something I didn't know. Let me. Oh man, I sunk my camera. Hold on. Let me come back here, and let me go. Let's do a couple things. So the maintenance bus is modeled right here, but you can't actually click it. So this is the maintenance service bus here. There's a little hole in the ceiling, and when we put an aircraft to bed at night.
Redwood 143, we're descending to 11,000 feet.
So when we put an aircraft to bed, we'll turn off the batteries, and it will stay on the maintenance power bus. So it'll power a couple things like nav lights and some cabin lighting like that and everything. That's what this maintenance service bus is for. You stick your finger in there and you flip that on. It's part of the securing checklist for an overnight. Let's see if we have a row 13 though. Now you guys got me curious. 3, 4, 5. Right here.
Got the weather for Redwood 143.
11, 12. Yep, row 13 right here. Emergency exit row. Now, yeah, this is the new emergency exits. Oh. Look at that reflection. Am I over Yosemite right now? Let's take a look. Wow, look at just views, man. Pretty neat. All right, let's get back to the actual cockpit here. Do we need to call Reno? We should probably call Reno at this point, right? We have information Alpha, and we are 75 miles south of Mustang VOR. I guess he'll ping us, right? We do have a company message. Let's see what that's all about. Is that our daily Mormon message? Yep. There we go. God bless. All right, let's pull up real quick just an updated Reno. I think we already have Alpha. Shouldn't have changed much. That looks good. We've already done our perf data. We're all set up. We'll get terrain on ND for the approach. It might not have been Phantom. I thought it was Phantom. Back in my day, they knocked on your door. Oh, yeah. I'm going to call approach up now. We might be a little far out, though, right? Reno approach, good afternoon, Delta 357. What about 66 miles south of the Mustang VOR at 360?
Delta 357 NorCal approach, rate of contact position as reported. Reno altimeter 3021. Excuse me, current disinformation Yankee is correct.
Copy, we'll pick up Yankee for Delta 357. All right, Yankee is current. It says 10 mile 302 and visual approach, landing at a party 16 left to 16 right. So
NorCal, Honda Jet 9 Delta Bravo has the airport in sight.
That's Phantom. That's Phantom.
9 Delta Bravo, roger.
Does that Honda Jet have a VTAC? Got my VTAC. Oh, man. Honda Jet, huh? All right, so we got 16 left in the box. If we get 16 right, it'll be visual.
601, turn left heading 270, descend and maintain 7,400.
We have a Yankee.
The turn airport is going to be at your 9 o'clock and 10 miles port site.
Left 270, descending 9,400, and we'll call when at the field, sky 601.
Why is zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight CG so important to set up, given the aircraft is never at zero fuel state? So remember, zero fuel weight is everything but the fuel. So it's got all your loads. So you need to know what the weight of the airplane is loaded without the fuel. And then you add the fuel on top of it. Because the fuel, we can change that pretty easily, right? So it's just the way they do their calculations. It's pretty standard. Pretty much every airplane that I've flown is you use a zero fuel weight calculation, and then you add the fuel on top of that. Well, we don't personally because we send it all off to Aerodata to do the computations for us. But that zero fuel weight it kind of makes the math easier because it's basically everything you're taking without gas. And then you can, what if you need to add gas? You change gas, and you can see the total, the gross weight of the aircraft's going to change. It's just a form. It's just the method that they use mathematically.
Follow 10 o'clock to 10 miles port site.
And fuel burn is fuel burn. Exactly, that's right, Blue Man. So that's what it's changing. It's one of your changing variables, right? So that's why you want to be able to know what you're going to weigh without gas, and then you're going to add gas, and then you're going to burn gas. Just makes the math computations work out. We really need a shared cockpit stream again. I know. And we really do need a shared cockpit. Someone to yell at Phantom for that. He doesn't want to do it.
Vector 601, maintain 180
knots. What replay software do we use? I use Flight Recorder from Flight SimTO. AvGeek, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. Just getting ready to start top of descent. Welcome aboard. I'll get my Flight Recorder up now since y'all mentioned it. Look at this little snow cap out here.
Traffic inside Honda Jet 9 Delta Bravo.
Number 9 to Delta Bravo, roger. Follow that traffic. Number 2.
G3000 is really broken in the Honda Jet? Really?
That
sucks.
Got a clear visual approach behind that traffic and maintain 180 knots until 5 mile final Honda Jet 9 Delta Bravo.
Honda Jet. Open descent versus open climb descent mean? It means it's your maximum rate of climb or descent at your given speed selection. We need to request a lower here.
Redwood 1483 for sequence, turn right heading 360.
We need a request lower.
Right here in 360 is 1480.
Reno approach, double 357. Any chance for lower?
357, no problem. Descend and maintain 10,000.
Descend and maintain 10,000, double 357. Alright, so we're going all the way down to 10. Now, I could go open, but it would just dive on me. So let's pull a Boeing here. Let's go ahead and start it down. We'll start about 1,500 feet per minute descent rate. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. We'll get our seatbelt sign on. We'll get the airplane nose and over, and then let's go ahead and pull for open. And at an open descent with 7.8 Mach, it's going to bring the engines to idle. As indicated here, thrust idle, open descent. It's going to give us our max rated descent, idle thrust coming down. So spooling back, here we go. Is GSX any good or worth it? Ugh. I don't know. I honestly don't know, man. That should be enough for you. It's, if you just want to see some visual stuff, you're probably going to enjoy it. But coming from what I'm used to with GSX and P3D, it is a shadow of itself. And the way the menus work are very glitchy. Like, just not glitchy, finicky. Just kind of finicky. With that said, if you want to see some visual stuff and have excessively long conversations with your tug driver, you're probably going to enjoy it. It does add that level of immersion. You know, what is kind of cool, though, like if you do a hard stand to plane and you get to like actually bring stairs up, see passengers to plane, or watch people come and board your aircraft, that is pretty neat. I'm not going to lie, that's pretty cool. But compared to what it was in P3D, it's, like I said, it's a shadow of itself. You can buy a pretty good airplane for the price of GSX.
Number 9 at Delta Bravo, contact Green at 118.7.
I can tell you're an American pilot in Europe, they let us go pee during the descent. Chris, normally we keep it on, so I turned it on a little prematurely there on the descent. I typically don't turn on the seatbelt sign until about 24, at the very latest 18,000 feet. But yeah, I just turned it on there because there's nothing else to do. But yeah, I'll make an initial descent announcement, and it'll sound something like, you know, the seatbelt sign will be coming on very soon. When it does, it will remain on for the duration of the flight. I'm just thinking here, going into Reno, we got some terrain out here. Although the winds are pretty calm, not expecting any turbulence today, but typically coming into Reno, you're going to get some turbulence coming over the mountains. Only good thing about GSX is the pushback. If you can get the frickin' tow bar, I don't know why I can never get a tow bar with the Fenix. It always gives me a hugger tug. I don't know what's up with that. The PMDG 73 is probably the most valued aircraft. It is very good. I mean, you're talking $30-something for a PMDG airplane. I love it. In fact, we might even fly the 736
1483, turn left heading
next
270.
in like a retro Southwest livery.
270, 1483.
It's awesome. The PMDG is the 736. I love that airplane. Do you have a site to calculate software? Nope. I use what's in the Fenix EFB right here. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do it. We'll do a landing computation. Right now, we'll just takes our runway here. We're going to land on 16. So 16 left is the shorter runway. So we'll run that. We'll do dry, apply METAR, and our landing weight is 132.2. We'll take the current weight of the airplane, even though it will be a little bit less. We need, with our additive, 7,800 feet. Beautiful. That's with low brake, flap full. 7,700 feet with reverse.
Descend and maintain 8,400, Red Wolf 1483.
Information Yankee is, what was the altimeter? 29er, or no, 3021. So 3021. Let me dial that in here and then reset it. 3021 is set.
357, depart Mustang BOR heading 360, vector final.
Depart Mustang 360 for Delta 357. And what runway can we expect?
Be the visual approach running 16 right.
Visual 16 right for Delta 357. We'll depart Mustang heading 360. All right, 360 out of Mustang. We're going to land 16 right.
And intercept the runway 16 right, localize.
We'll just load up the ILS X-ray.
190, left 190 for an intercept
16 right.
localizer runway 16 right, Rebel 1483.
We'll insert that. FMS2 thing needs that. Insert that. Ooh, wow, that's kind of weird. Now, 16 right, we can take it off of Zompo. We'll do 161, insert. Pull heading. There's Mustang, so 360 in the turn.
And Rebel 1483, we have the localizer.
167, what's up with that?
1483, Roger.
Correct.
Airport is going to be
Zompo.
12 o'clock, 20 miles port site.
Roger, we will report airport inside.
There we go. I don't know why it was backwards on this one. Full heading. There we go. All right, we're all set up. We got the ILS to back us up. 360 on the heading down to 10,000 feet. John Padfield, thank you for the continued support, man. Says I've been late, might be late to the streams, but I get there in the end. How you doing, everyone? John, welcome to the stream, man. We're doing fantastic. We're getting ready here to start our final descent, coming into Reno, Tahoe. Nice early morning flight. Look at that power station down there. Look at that power station down there. Just smokestacks doing their thing. Smoke is going straight up because the wind is calm. Another indicator there. Tune into that.
1483, descend and maintain.
Thank you, John. Welcome to the stream. GSX profiles are essential, yeah. And that's the other thing that drives me nuts. Like, you have to go get all these profiles. Which, I guess is pretty simple if you do it, but it's just an extra step. Anyone know if there's a good way to speed up the boarding in GSX? Romulus, yes. You put your density, you go to the settings in the GSX menu, and you go to density, and you crank it up. And when the higher the density, the more people are going to come down the jet bridge. Does the terrain only start showing up at a certain altitude? In the Phoenix, I believe, yes. And actually, in the real airplane, it does as well. It has to do with what altitude you are above the highest terrain that's depicted. Let's go ahead and set 3021 here on both meters.
Clear visual approach runway 16 right, speed of the discretion, Rebel 1483.
1023 setting the backup. We're looking good. Phoenix doesn't have peaks mode yet, correct. Oop. Left turn 27. Is that left turn 270 for a double 357? 270. Wow, he's going to slam dunk us today. All right. 270. Spool brakes out.
1483, contact Reno Tower.
Throttletek cam is on. Here we
Always
go.
to Tower 18.7, Redwood 1483.
We'll dial up 18.7 in the standby as well. Wait, what? 118.7 for tower. Is set in the standby. We got our speed brakes on. We're coming down 10,000 feet. As soon as we hit 10, we'll dial it back to 250 here. Speed alt star. When you hear that, when you see it go into speed mode, that's when I go right here, 250. I'm gonna give myself some Chinese speed brakes out here under the wings to help slow us down. They're popping out. Love that. Oh, that's so cool. We're slowing down to 250. Speed brakes are out. And we'll go ahead and activate and confirm.
L357, turn left heading 190, descend and maintain 8,700. Intercept the runway 16 right localizer.
190 on the heading. What was the altitude again for Delta 357? 8,700?
It was 190, 8,700, and then intercept the localizer.
All right, 8,700, 190 heading until established. Intercept the localizer for 16 right, Delta 357. All right, so here we go. 8,700 is set. Thrust throttle open descent. We'll go loc blue to intercept. We're intercepting the localizer, so we'll go ahead and we'll leave that light off, actually. We have ATC. I don't know why my view keeps resetting. Speed out star. I'm going to go ahead and come back to about 210 there. Actually, we'll just come straight back to 180. This is cool. Watch the VLS change here when I put the speed brake up. See the tiger tail running away now? There we go. That's good. 8,700. Intercept the Loke. Loke is blue. We don't have a proper minimum in there yet. There's VFE next minus 10. Flaps 1. We got to reset our minimums here. Man, what a beautiful morning in Reno. What is the minimums here for... Oh, let's see. What's the touchdown zone? Touchdown is 44.15, so we'll call it 46. We'll just call it 4,700 barrel as a reference. Loke star. There's VFE next minus 10. Flaps 2. Chinese speed brakes. That's what you called them in the Mad Dog. Nice. I am not using FSTL.
7 to maintain 8,000. Field is 12 o'clock, 20 miles.
Set to maintain 8,000 field sight, Delta 357.
357, clear visual person, 16 right, speed discretion.
Speed our discretion, clear visual 16 right, Delta 357. Thrust idle, open descent, speed our discretion, field in sight at 12 o'clock. Man, this is looking good. Let's just do some hand flying, shall we? We're going to go autopilot off. Let's go ahead and start the recording. We'll level here at 8,000, speed out star, we're flaps config 2, engines are coming back up. I'm really trying to feel this Fenix, this new little tweak they got here on this patch. It's supposed to feel a little bit better than what's currently live. We're out Loke. We were cleared approach, so we can hit the approach push button. Level 8,000, pitch and power, doing about 63% N1 at flap 2, 180. What's our fuel burn? Fuel flow is about 2,700. It's in the ballpark. Blue Mac, basically the energy state at flaps full, a change in flaps 3 to full, and some ground friction stuff. Here comes the slope, glide slope star, going out to descent, we'll keep it 8,000 blue. Nose it over a tad, engines are coming back. With touchdown zone at around 4,500, we'll configure 2,000 feet above that, so about 6,500 feet MSL is when we'll manage up the speed. And we should be able to configure right on time at about 6,500 feet. As soon as he switches me to tower, I'll turn the auto thrust off. Now our rad outs are going to be incorrect here because we're going over terrain, just like in real life. Over tower, Delta 3% was it. Alright, there we go. Tower, good morning, Delta 357 visual, 16 right.
Delta 357, Reno Tower, right 16 right, clear to land.
16 right, clear to land. Delta 357. Alright, here we go, clear to land. We are going to go auto thrust match and mash. So I'm going to put it right where the N1 is. We'll go ahead and disconnect the auto thrust. Auto thrust off, that's me, clear the caution. I will go ahead and manage the speed now. And here comes about 2,000 feet above touchdown zone. So let's go ahead and start bringing that power back to idle. And gear down. Speed brakes on. There's VFE next minus 10, flaps 3. A little bit of a pitch change there. Interesting. VFE next minus 10, flaps full, landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, auto thrust, it's off. Auto brakes are low, ECAM memo, landing all green, landing checklist is complete. We are down to land, clear to land. We're approaching 1,000 feet. That's not true. 1,000 feet will be about 5,500 MSL. Let's go ahead and get our powers in there for approach. I hope this glide slope's on, because I really want to see what we got pitch and power-wise on a proper glide slope. A little bit slow, corrected. Wow. There it is. Interesting. Yeah, this glide slope, I can tell it's going to be a little bit funky. There's 1,000 feet stable, clear to land. As soon as I get visual with the PAPI, we're just going to go with that. But definitely tell the difference in drag there. About 56. I'll buy that. Of course, there's no PAPI, right? So we'll just do it without the PAPIs, I guess.
$500.
Man, these are the landings you typically smash because it's so calm. Rip.
100 above.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep coming down. That
Minimum.
glide slope's gonna take me high. Landing. I mean, dead calm.
100.
Light slope.
Check. I'm right on it.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Spoilers. That felt good. Might have been a little bit firm. We'll see. That flare felt good. I don't know what the touchdown rate was, but it felt pretty happy with how that felt. 70 knots, idle reverse. We'll take this. 370. That was a 370? We'll have to take a look at that.
Delta 357, taxi to ramp via Alpha, cross runway 25. Have a good day.
Alpha to the ramp, clear across 25 for Delta 357. Good day. Cabin's pressurization fault. That's interesting. All right, via Alpha, and we're cleared to cross. So Alpha, oh man, that stupid bug with the click and drag. Come on, man. Come on, click and drag. I think Alpha was the second one. We're clear to cross, so let's go ahead and cross and then we'll reconfigure. Migs! That's 370 to your per minute. 3.7, negative 3.7. Really? Migs, thank you for the $5 dono, man. I appreciate you, dude. I don't know why it was a 3. That said 370? I don't know if I believe that one. We'll do instant replay. We'll take a look at it. How do you get a sim update and no fix or click and drag, bro? I don't know. Yeah, we're on Charlie. We took the wrong taxiway. My bad. Sorry, man. At least there's no traffic. We'll cheat over here. Once we clear this runway, we'll reconfigure. That's why I don't believe any landing rate readouts. Yeah, I just do it for you guys. It's fun. It's kind of fun to see. Some feel pretty realistic. Like the one that the Sim Toolkit Pro has. Not Sim Toolkit Pro, excuse me. The one that this landing rate uses, the one that I'm using up here, that Fly Live. For the most part, I feel like it's pretty close. Like, I see some butters, I'm like, yeah, that look buttery, and then I see ones that I plop on, I'm like, yeah, probably harder. For the most part, it's pretty good, but is it perfect? Nah. All right, we'll reconfigure, we'll leave the lights on, we'll go ahead and turn the terrain off here as we taxi into the gate. We're on Alpha now. This is Fly Live Studio, correct. Welcome to Reno, Tahoe. I wouldn't care about landing rates except that V-Spirit and Walker count off our hard landings. Yep, Tony John. So, you know, it's still fun to have. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to have a little landing readout. But a 370, we'll assess that. Cabin pressure. What is up with this? Cabin pressurization. Outflow valve not open? Mode select manual. Okay. Manual. Man vertical speed control full up. So basically we have a problem with our pressurization valve. We got to open the outflow valve all the way up. Pack 1, pack 2 off. Really? Interesting. That's so they can open the door. Imagine if real-life pilots had a flashing neon sign that said, "Congrats! Negative 178." Yeah. I thought those might be some Zobo airplanes there. We'll go right down here. This looks like a good spot. Oh, there's that click and drag bug again. See, this is another reason why I want to have my track IR on. How they haven't fixed that stupid click and drag thing drives me nuts. If I had to pick one game-breaking bug, that's the one. We don't have an APU, so that's okay. We won't actually shut down. We'll shut down. We'll listen to the shutdown sounds. Why not? We'll park it right here. We'll connect the GPU. I think that was a pretty good turn in. Pretty close. Pretty close. Slow it down when we're cooking. Ooh, that was a harder brake set. And let's go ahead and connect the GPU. I kind of want to listen to the spool down sounds here, so let's do this. Let's go GPU available. We'd have to wait for that in real life as well. GPU is on. And let's go ahead and turn them down. Let's do it with the proper Throttletek as well. Let's do it like, what's a good view? I think this view sounds better right here. And spooling down. Tony, I know. A la airplane into the terminal. There we go. Very nice. Gotta log off for some more meetings. Absolutely, Tyson. Take care, man. Nice shutdown sounds. Good shutdown sounds. Good shutdown sounds. Was that hard stop to teach those already out of their seats? Exactly, Romulus. It's one of my favorite things to do. No, just kidding. All right, let's go back to, let's go into replay mode. Let's analyze this landing. We'll go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. Sweet to have a little bit of a VATSIM control on today. That was a lot of fun. We'll release the parking brake, and let's go ahead and just dismiss the D board. We'll go right back to ready panel state, and we're gonna see if this really was a 370, huh? 370. Oh, we're rolling. You're getting the itch for some Tomcat and DCS? Ooh, I'm getting the itch for some Apache and DCS. Or some Huey ops. You guys want to see me just run some medevac? Like, just a stream of medevac Huey ops? No return leg today? No return leg today. We're just going to short one. Let's see how we did. Let's come back to the cockpit here. Loud. Let's go full immersion mode here. Man, I cannot wait for the IEs though. We really need flaps 40. There's our flaps coming out. God, I love that. Been loving the Warbirds and DCS. Man, I do need to get back on some Warbirds. I haven't flown Warbirds in a while. There's flaps full coming down. What is it? What did we say? We came 37 degrees in the CFMs and 40 degrees in the AE. Look at the little bit of flap wiggle right here. This is, I know Zebo did this in X-Plane 11, but man, does that not look real to you guys? Like, that looks freaking amazing. It looks freaking amazing. Is the pressurization sulking pain? I don't know. Maybe it was a random fault there, but we are landing at a higher field elevation, but it should have accompanied. It should have handled it no problem. It's only 4,400 feet or whatever. Well, we don't need to use the high altitude push button. We do have the high altitude landing push button on the Fenix 320. It is modeled. We got to use that in the South America tour a little bit, but. What happened there, basically, that the cabin was sensing that it was still pressurized and the airplane was on the ground. So correctly, it prompted an ECAM, which told me to do a couple things. It said, put the pressurization mode into manual, so then I can manually control the outflow valve. And then it says outflow valve full open, which is going to help bleed out that pressure within the cabin. And then it actually said packs 1 and 2 off. And that is so we can stop pumping air into the cabin and pressurizing it, because there's some type of conflict happening with the bleed air coming in from the packs and the outflow valve. So basically, by shutting off the packs and going full open on the manual outflow valve, you basically just turn the airplane into an open-ended straw, right? So the air can just flow out, flow in freely. The high altitude push button is used for landing at high field elevations above. Someone in chat probably knows, it's in my book, I don't know, 90, 700 feet, something like that. I think it actually depends on the engine variant as well. I think the Neos can land a little bit higher than the IAEs, and then the CFMs I think are even a little bit different than that. But basically, high altitude elevation, basically with landing above 10,000 feet, 12,000 feet. When we were doing that in South America, we saw that quite a bit. Look at the shadow out here. This is freaking awesome. The flap. Look at the dirt on the flaps. If you haven't already, smash down that freaking like button for dirty flaps, because I think dirty flaps are probably the best thing in flight sim. Now, one of the best. Dirty flaps. Look at that. But proper dirt. Look at that. That looks so good. And it's wiggling with our shadow there. This is real life. Desert Office Park. Yes, Kyle Ferris. This is our replay. We're going to see how we touch down. Can I please say hi, Warren McFarlane? Hello, Warren McFarlane. Welcome. You forgot how ugly Reno is? Yeah, there was a default Reno in there. I was going to pick up, there was a scenery for Reno, but it was $25. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if we're going to fly in and out of here enough to warrant that scenery, but we might. It's kind of a neat airport, especially if it's hot and heavy and you got real high density altitude. Dirty Flaps, new username. Yep. Do I use FSTL? No. And you're about the 74th person to ask me in the chat. I am going to have to go investigate what this FSTL thing is all about, because you guys seem to be all over it. Orion Vic, your home airport in Reno? Nice. Dirty Flaps is a grunge band name, exactly. When will they release the 900? I have no idea, DFG. No idea. When do you think the IAE and Sharkets will be out? Again, no idea, Ryan Johnson, but it cannot come soon enough. You can bet on it, though. As soon as they are out, we will be doing a Phoenix Marathon stream with IAE engines. Hell, we might even do a flight from the engine view, the entire flight. We'll go Xbox on it. We'll just take off, taxi, and land from the engine view. Yeah, the LA scenery is worth that, Anthony. I wasn't sure if I was going to spend $25 on a Reno scenery. That just seemed a little bit excessive. AvGeek, it's more accurate than AIG, better sounds. Really? Okay, so I was watching some FSTL traffic. I didn't like the way the airplanes took off. Like with AIG, I get a proper, nice, smooth rotations and landings, gear retraction, spoilers. Do you get that with FSTL as well? I don't know. Just a serious question. Just looking good. Coming over the road. Let's watch the spoiler deployment. I mean, we watched it. This was a nice landing to watch all the way in here. Look at that. The shadow. That is so cool. Look at that deployment. Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome. I love the Airbus. Thank you, Glitch. Appreciate you, man. All right, let's pause it. Let's rewind it. Let's actually look at the touchdown now. Let it load back up here. We'll resume. Let's go ahead and see how we did outside. Google McTavish view. Somewhere in here. And it didn't float, that's for sure, especially up here at 4,000 feet. You're going to have a little bit less float. see how we did. There's a 370, huh? Downsloping runway. I don't know. It's downsloping. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. I tell you what. The flight dynamics here on this landing was spot on. Up here at 4,500 feet for touchdown, you need to flare a little bit early, and you need to flare a little bit harder. I didn't do quite that. I would accept a 270, maybe a 290. I don't know if that's almost a minus 400. I don't know if that's a minus 400 almost. Right on the center line though, but I gotta tell you that it felt very good, and at this altitude, the touchdown is gonna feel. If you're not anticipating the high density altitude, you're gonna plunk it, and I kind of felt that. So that's just a testament to Fenix and the new Sim Update 10, the flight modeling here on the ground. It felt very realistic. I'll just put it that way. My inputs on the stick felt realistic. The response of the aircraft felt realistic. I definitely could have flared more. Probably could have flared a little bit earlier. Let's watch it from another angle. But I tell you what, it felt good. Let's compromise, call it a 175. Well, I would take that. This livery is indeed sexy, Santiago. I hear you there. Definitely looks good. So flaring. See, I started my flare there. I'm coming up, but notice the airplane doesn't really slows its descent a little bit. Yeah, that was bang on the center line too. I mean, shoot. If that's a 370, I'll take a 370 all day. I don't know what, that looks pretty good to me. All right. We'll watch a couple more. I'll let you guys enjoy a couple more as we roll it out here. Get sail going in the background. See a couple more spoiler deployments. Let's watch the spoiler deployment from the left side because it's just juicy. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for me today. Short stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the new LAX scenery. If you've picked it up already, I highly recommend it. It's a super fun scenery to fly in and out of. We'll be back later this week. I'm not sure when. Maybe we might. Oh, that was just a buttery juice right there. Maybe tomorrow we might do something. Maybe back in the Boeing. We'll see. We'll see. Dougal, thanks for hanging out the stream, man. Appreciate you. At this point, though, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thank you for all the new subscribers, the new members. Thank you, Migs, for a couple of donos and definitely a massive membership gift for all the new members of the channel. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for your support. Thank you for any other donos, super chats that come through. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your wonderful Tuesday afternoon, at least it's afternoon here for me. Until the next one, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!